過去一晚呢，有大批嘅暴徒喺旺角嘅彌敦道、山東街、奶路臣街、亞皆老街一帶進行非法集結，並喺多處嘅地方惡意毀壞公物同埋警車，縱火、暴力襲擊正在執行職務嘅警務人員，同埋喺現場採訪嘅新聞工作者，嚴重破壞咗香港嘅社會秩序同埋公共安全。事件最終變成暴亂。我哋警方強烈譴責有關人士破壞法紀嘅騷亂行為。今次嘅事件，現場見到有車輛運載物品俾暴徒使用，警方正喺度調查搜證，唔排除今次事件係一宗有組織、有計劃嘅暴力事件。警方一定會嚴正執法，並全力繼續調查同埋追究事件，將會有進一步嘅拘捕行動。我重申，我哋警方有能力、有信心去處理任何嘅違法行為，會全力緝拿肇事暴徒歸案，繩之於法。同時，我要衷心感謝警隊各位同事喺困難嘅一夜裏邊緊守崗位。喺過去幾日，我嘅同事盡心盡力喺各區嘅花市、墟市當更，為市民提供一個安全嘅環境去享受佢哋嘅節日。而昨夜喺剛剛做完嘅花車遊行嘅活動之後，又不辭勞苦前往旺角執勤。喺一個咁惡劣嘅環境之下，以絕不退縮、不屈不撓嘅精神維護法紀。我亦都要感謝部分嘅市民同埋記者朋友喺現場對警隊嘅支持同埋幫助。事件呢係源於2月8號晚上10點鐘喺旺角山東街與奶路臣街之間一段嘅砵蘭街路段，有熟食小販喺上址非法擺賣。食物環境衛生署嘅人員喺上址執行職務期間，被人圍堵、指罵同埋阻撓執法。由於人身安全感到受到威脅，所以要求警方到場協助同埋支援。警方到達現場之後，發覺現場已經有超過200人集結喺馬路上，對公共安全同埋其他道路使用者構成危險。警方曾經多次向現場作出呼籲同埋警告，希望有關人士返回行人路，但有關人士拒絕聽從並推撞警方。其後更加有激進嘅分子手持自製武器同埋盾牌，向警方多次推撞，與警方發生衝突。情況逐漸失控，事件演變成嚴重嘅騷亂，以致暴亂。大批暴徒於多處地方縱火，包括一部的士向一部的士投擲正係燃燒嘅雜物。佢哋咁做不單止係對附近居民構成極大危險，更加嚴重危害公共安全同埋公共秩序。更有部分暴徒不理警方勸喻，用雜物阻塞馬路，更加撬起行人路上嘅磚頭，作為攻擊執勤警員嘅武器。為咗保障公共安全同埋公共秩序，警方喺別無選擇之下，使用警棍同埋施放胡椒噴劑去控制場面。警方已經係盡量克制，使用最低武力，但期間仍有暴徒不斷近距離向警員投擲磚頭、垃圾桶、玻璃樽、木板等嘅硬物，令多名警務人員受傷同埋頭破血流， 威脅同事嘅生命安全。期間亦有多名暴徒襲擊警車。到目前為止，事件已有近90名警務人員以及數名記者涉忌受傷，其中有多名警務人員被玻璃割傷流血、骨折、撞傷同埋被硬物擊中頭部受傷，需送院治理。目前仍有部分嘅警務人員需要留院觀察或者係等待治療。我同副處長行動已經分別探望咗啲同事並表示慰問。警方一直以一個十分克制嘅方式嚟處理今次嘅事件，但大家可以喺電視機畫面上面見到暴徒嘅行徑，令人髮指。約凌晨2點鐘，喺亞皆老街同埋上海街交界嘅大批暴徒使用唔同嘅硬物襲擊一名執勤警員。當時該名警員呢已經係跌倒地上，但暴徒仍然追上前，繼續向佢投擲磚頭、木塊、垃圾桶，令同事嘅生命安全受到嚴重威脅。喺別無選擇嘅情況之下，有警員為咗保護同僚免受生命嘅襲擊同埋自身嘅安全，根據警隊嘅武力使用守則去使用咗槍械。我要強調，警隊有嚴謹嘅武力使用守則，亦都有嚴格嘅訓練。當時同事係根據呢個守則同埋當時現場嘅環境做咗佢認為正確嘅判斷。現階段警方共拘捕54人，包括47男同埋7名女子，年齡介乎15至70歲。佢哋涉嫌非法集結、毆警、阻差辦公、藏有攻擊性武器、喺公眾地方行為不檢等等。如我哋進一步嘅調查有足夠證據，會考慮檢控有關人士參與暴亂嘅罪名。喺大年初一嘅日子發生今次嘅暴亂，引致多人受傷。我相信香港市民都係唔想見到嘅。我哋警方重申尊重市民表達意見嘅自由，但係用暴力嘅方式去表達意見就一定唔可以接受。而警方亦有責任確保公共安全同埋公共秩序，同時亦有責任確保普通市民嘅人身安全同埋記者採訪時候嘅安全。如果有任何違法行為，警方必定果斷執法，以維持社會安寧同埋保障公共安全、公共秩序。由於今晚喺維多利亞港兩岸農曆新年煙花匯演，警方會實施人流安全管理措施同埋特別嘅交通安排。警方或者會要求市民離開過度擠迫嘅地方，希望市民遵從現場警務人員嘅指示，並呼籲佢哋遵守秩序。如果市民發現有任何可疑人士或者物品嘅話，應喺安全嘅情況之下向警方舉報。亦請市民如果遇到同類型嘅事件，昨晚同類型嘅事件，盡快離開現場，切勿逗留喺現場觀望。我再一次重申，暴徒嘅行為已經嚴重超越法治嘅底線。任何嘅違法行為，警方必定果斷執法，絕對唔會姑息任何暴力行為。多謝。Now I'm going to repeat in English. Yesterday evening, a large number of violent radicals maliciously damaged government property and police vehicles, committed acts of arson, and attacked police officers on duty, as well as media workers, covering the scene in Nathan Row, Shantung Street, Argyle Street, Nelson Street, and its vicinities in Mong Kok. Police strongly condemn the unlawful behavior of these protesters, leading to these serious disturbances. In this incident, it was discovered that some people transported supplies by vehicles for use by the violent radicals at scene. Police do not rule out that it was an organized and pre-planned action. Police will conduct follow-up investigations and take enforcement actions. The possibility of further arrests cannot be ruled out. I reiterate that police have the ability and confidence and determination in handling all unlawful behavior and will make all effort to take enforcement action against those who are responsible. My officers have been working very hard for the last few days at the flower markets to ensure an orderly and peaceful environment for the enjoyment of the public. And for last night, they rushed to scene right after the bus parade event and continue work until this morning. I salute them and want to thank them all for their perseverance, courage, and devotion to duty throughout the period. I also wish to express my gratitude for the support and help from some members of the public and the media at the scene. The riot originated from an incident in which, at about 10 p.m. last night, February the 8th, a number of hawkers were selling cooked food at a section of Portland Street between Shandong Street and Nelson Street in Mong Kok illegally. Officers of Food and Environmental Hygiene Department were surrounded, abused, and obstructed in executing their duties, and therefore requested assistance from the police. We were then deployed to the scene. A large number of people, over 200, were found gathering on the carriageway. Their presence endangered public safety and other road users. Police gave repeated advice and warning to the people at the scene, urged them to return to the pavement, but they refused to comply and pushed the officers. The radical individuals held self-made weapons and shields to shove the police officers that led to further confrontations. The situation escalated and turned into a serious disturbances, subsequently riot. A large number of violent radicals set fires in various places, thereby endangering public safety and public order. Ignoring police advice, some protesters moved objects to obstruct the carriageways and threw big bricks prized from the pavement in order to attack the police officers. To safeguard public safety and public order, police exercised restraint so far as was possible and used the minimum level of force, including using baton and pepper spray to stop the unlawful violent acts. However, the violent radicals kept throwing hard objects such as bricks, rubbish bins, and glass bottles at officers from a short distance. A number of police officers were injured and sustained head injuries. Some violent radicals also maliciously damaged police vehicles at scene. Up to this time, nearly 90 police officers sustained injuries and require medical treatment. Some officers were wounded by broken glass and sustained head injuries after being hit by hard objects. The scope of injuries included bone fractures, lacerations to forehead and face, bleeding nose, and other abrasions and bruises. Some media workers who were covering the incident were also injured. Some of our officers remain in hospital for observation or awaiting treatment. Police have all along exercising great restraint in handling the riot, but you have seen from the TV live broadcast the malicious acts of these rioters. At about 2 a.m. at the junction of Argyle Street and Shanghai Street, rioters attacked a police officer with hard objects and threatened his life. He fell on the ground, but was kept attacked by the rioters. With no alternative, his police colleague used his firearm in accordance with the use of force principles to prevent his fellow colleague from being further attacked and also for his own personal safety. I stress that we have strict guidelines on the use of force and strictest training for our officer on the use of firearms. The officer made a judgment which he considered correct in accordance with the principle of the use of force and the prevailing circumstances which were presented before him at the scene. So far, we have arrested 54 people, including 47 males and 7 women, aged 15 to 70, for unlawful assembly, assaulting police, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct in public place, possession of offensive weapons, obstructing police officer. Should evidence reveal, we will consider charging the arrested persons for participating in a riot. The Hong Kong community does not want to see such violent disturbances, and it is particularly saddening to have occurred on the first day of the festive Lunar New Year. We reiterate that we respect the public right of freedom of expression, but at the same time, we have the duty of ensuring public safety and public order, as well as protecting the safety of the public and the reporters who are going about their business on the street. Resolute enforcement actions will be taken against any illegal acts to preserve public order and safeguard public safety. Tonight will be the fireworks display in Victoria Harbour. I appeal to members of the public to take heed of police officers' instructions and conduct themselves in an orderly fashion at the scene. If suspicious persons or activities are seen, they should call the police, and they should also stay away from disturbances, if any, during tonight's event. I repeat, we will absolutely not tolerate any violent behavior which has crossed the line of law and order, and we will take resolute action to interdict such acts and bring those who are responsible to justice. Thank you.
我有同事會遞咪俾你嘅，請你講出你個機構名稱，同埋咧每一次發問唔好多過兩條問題啦，等多啲記者可以問到問題。
係處長你好 ，Now TV 㗎。首先想問翻，琴日嘅事件其實係由於呢個無牌小販嗰件事件引起啦。咁係你話係食環署求助於你哋嘅。咁啊，其實當初警方去到現場嘅時候，你嘅判斷係咪有一啲唔適當嘅警力，可能係好多警員啊，或者唔適當嘅姿態，或者好多嘅裝備，令到激發起日後嗰一個嘅更加激烈嘅一啲嘅示威行為？就係警方其實可唔可以用一啲當其時有啲更加軟性嘅手段，其實可能係已經可以處理到個事件啦。咁另外亦都睇翻係有警員鳴槍嗰度，係見到當其時個警力呢係得幾名嘅交通警喺現場嘅，係咪亦都反映咗當其時嗰個應變部署係比較慢，警力不足嗰個問題唔夠快去應變？同埋你剛才講到嗰個鳴槍示警嗰個警員啦，你話佢係有一個正確嘅，係佢有一個正確嘅判斷。我想問翻啦，究竟喺警方度係咪可以向天鳴槍示警呢一個嘅可以有咁樣嘅行為去做出啦？係咪訓練中會有咁樣啦？同埋係咪即係而家就係一個警方嘅判斷就係話佢嗰個行為係恰當嘅，係正確嘅呢？唔該，老實。
好，首先我答你第一個問題。當時我哋接到呢個係呢個食環署嘅同事嘅要求協助嘅時候，我哋派出警員去現場，我哋會做評估，然後再會調派適當嘅警力。好多時候呢啲人群活動可以喺好短時間內去變成一個好嚴重或者係好混亂嘅場面。我哋只係基於最初得嚟嘅信息做評估，跟住決定派幾多人去，跟住後來整晚一路發展，大家都睇到我哋陸續一路增援。我而家唔會過早評論當時第一剎那 接到啲 call 嘅同事有冇判斷正確，或者有其他嘅考慮？因為我哋仲喺度，即係啱啱琴日發生，但係我哋呢每次去做一個去一個現場，一定會做好評估工作，同埋派足夠警力。咁第二亦都答埋，其實就係警力過少嗰個問題，就係當時係短短時間裏邊嗰個情況忽然間惡化，我哋啲同事已經係盡快由各區唔同嘅同事調派去支援當時喺現場執法嘅同事，所以我哋唔存在話係早咗慢咗，因為呢，如果你早咗，可能就會俾人評話我哋派太多警力，呢啲亦都係慣常，好多時俾人哋批評我哋話太多警力去現場，就係好似係想打壓一啲言論自由嘅行為，所以我哋呢係每一分鐘都做評估，我哋會根據當時現場盡快派人去協助啲同事。最後關於警槍嘅問題，我哋咧係有一個嚴格嘅指引，當一個同事佢為咗拯救生命，即係保護一個生命受到威脅，或者佢自己嘅生命安全受到威脅，係可以使用槍械嘅。咁呢個就係嗰個使用即係武力嗰個指引，同埋一旦嗰個即係你一達到你嘅目標呢，你要即刻停止使用你嗰個武力。咁至於話幾時使用啊，我哋有訓練。同埋同時要當時根據佢現場嗰個判斷。而家我呢都係只係根據呢佢電視機面前見到嘅畫面，咁樣嗰只係短短嘅幾秒鐘，所以咧我都需要時間去等個同事可能係靜咗落嚟，我哋呢就係再揾證人啊，去重新去睇下嗰個佢開槍時候嘅環境，咁我哋先作出判斷。多謝。
大陸上想繼續追問翻咧用槍嗰度啦，頭先提到話使用槍械嘅指引啦，咁有冇具體到話可唔可以喺鬧市當中向天開槍示警？呢個係即係當時訓練當中或者指引當中有冇咁仔細寫到呢樣嘢？第二樣嘢就係頭先提到，如果有足夠證據咧，係會考慮去控告啲嘅參與今次事件嘅人呢係參與暴亂嘅。之前喺佔中嘅時候係未用過呢個嘅控罪，我理解係未用過呢個控罪去針對一啲嘅示威人士。今次係咪回歸以嚟，甚至係6·7暴動之後第一次嘗試用呢個罪名去參與？第三就係被捕人士當中有冇屬於邊啲嘅政治團體？你哋有乜嘢嘅證據證明佢哋係有預謀行動？唔該。
好，咁警槍即係使用呢個武力同埋使用我哋嘅武器嗰個指引呢，頭先都講咗啦，我就唔再重複。總之我哋係當生命受到威脅或者其他人嘅生命受到威脅，我哋就可以使用槍械。至於你話每一個情況，因為你而家係假設好多假設嘅問題，我係好難答你嘅啊。咁第二個就係話呢個參與呢個暴亂罪，即係taking part in a riot。咁呢係我而家手頭冇資料，究竟上一次係幾時使用？不過呢我哋喺個非法佔中嗰個行動裏邊呢，我哋就冇用呢條罪嘅。咁今次呢係視乎環境呢，大家都當時都見到啦。喺個現場啲示威者變成暴徒之後所做嘅嘢，佢哋放火，佢哋想放火燒架警車，佢哋用啲磚頭掟人啊！我即係我可以話我啲同事好好彩，係冇人話掟到係即係有受傷，但係唔係話至有生命威脅。但係大家都可以想像得到，如果磚頭係掟到個頭呢，係可以殺人嘅。咁如果咁樣都唔係暴亂呢，我都諗唔到係有咩情況係屬於暴亂。咁所以呢，我哋今次呢真係好嚴肅，真係想話俾市民聽，佢哋表達自由嘅表達意見嘅自由，我一定尊重。但係如果佢呢使用一啲違法行為，而且大家都睇喺過去1年裏邊越變越暴力，我諗大家都唔想見到。所以我一定要係根據呢個法律賦予我哋嘅權力去保護大家，保護香港市民。我亦都呼籲，其實琴晚喺出咗嚟嘅示威啊，最初係示威嘅市民，佢哋都要考慮下係咪應該咁做。我哋呢亦都唔會姑息呢啲咁嘅行為。最後呢，就係關於被捕人士，我哋而家仍然調查緊。咁喺現場呢，係有啲自稱本土派嘅人士。咁至於佢係屬於咩政治組織啊，同埋佢 佢哋係咪有預謀呢？我哋要進一步調查。
有冇三合會背景啊？
我哋暫時冇發現三合會。
I'm Christy Leung from SCMP. As you can see, there were only a few officers from traffic division yesterday night to deal with 100 protesters. And I want to know, did the police underestimate the development of the protest and that the police did not deploy enough of manpower to the scenes on time? And also about police following live rounds, as a police commissioner, do you think he made the correct decision? And also, you mentioned there no alternatives and that what the police officer did so. What do you mean by alternatives? Because he could use baton, he could use like pepper spray before he fired a gun. And lastly, did he violate any police general orders? Because it is said that police could not fire into the air to give warning. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I believe I've also answered similar questions in Chinese, and I'll say it in English again. We are professional, and we always do a risk assessment about the situation before we deploy officers to a scene. Probably you will also have experience in a case of crowd management. The crowd psychology can change within seconds. So whenever we do this assessment, once we consider that we need to send more men, we send it right away. There is no delay, absolutely no delay in supporting our officer in the front line. But situation can change within seconds, and we must realize that it also takes time for even officer going from one district to another district. For the no alternatives, what we mean that is there is no alternative that can effectively protect his own life or the life of other people, then he will choose to use a firearm. And for your last one, we will do investigation. Obviously, we will do investigation in the all shooting case, police shooting case. And at this moment, I do not want to draw any conclusion.
Did the police officer violate the police general order?
We need to know the full circumstances and do the investigation before I do commit to any useful conclusion. Thank you.
我想問下咧，其實想澄清翻咧，就係警員向天開槍咧，呢一樣嘢係咪違反咗警察通例？另外就係咧，警方喺部署上面咧，係咪唔夠人啦，同埋係咪過度樂觀以致咁多警員受傷咧？唔該。
首先第一個咧，我頭先都講咗幾遍㗎啦。我哋同事使用武器咧，係主要就係當佢嘅生命受到威脅，或者佢為咗保護其他人嘅生命受到威脅，而又冇其他嘅選擇，咁佢咧就可以使用呢個武器。當呢個武器即係用咗之後，係達到目的，佢要即刻停止使用呢個武力。咁喺而家呢一分鐘，我只係從畫面見到我同事做嘢，但係我未知道成件事件嘅前因後果，所有嘅每一個因素。所以我喺呢個分鐘裏邊咧，唔可以咧係跳咗去嗰個結論話正唔正確，或者係有冇犯規咁樣。另外一個咧，我頭先剛剛亦都提過，我哋做每一個行動嘅時候咧，都會做評估。做完評估會派同事去現場，足夠嘅同事去處理一個現場。但係一個遊行示威啦，或者係人群聚集嘅地方，大家都可能有經驗，就係嗰個人群嘅心理咧，可以喺瞬間咧就變得好快啊！佢可以由一個和平嘅呢個人群咧，變成一個係好暴力嘅人群。咁呢個轉變咧，有時候咧，我哋就算我哋最快嘅反應咧，都要時間嘅。所以可能咧喺件事件裏邊，可能有啲地方，可能各位會見到有啲同事可能唔夠人啊咁。我哋咧其實喺每一個判斷之後咧，會即刻盡快喺最近嘅地方咧抽調同事去支援我哋前線同事，亦都唔存在咧係話我哋會遲咗啊、慢咗啊咁樣嘅。唔該晒。
主任你好，明報嘅。首先想問下咧，即係你剛才提到話可能即係呢一班人係有組織有預謀啦，可唔可以再即係根據你而家所睇到嘅一啲即係證據又好特徵，我可唔可以再重新講多次點樣睇到呢班人可能一早已經有計劃咁樣做咧？另外就係想講翻啦，雖然即係你都解釋過好多次就交通警開槍嗰度，咁我哋都明白即係可能佢喺嗰一刻佢需要開槍啦，但係都係嗰句就係係咪有指引講到明係唔可以向天開槍？會唔會話喺旺角鬧市佢向其他方向開槍會比而家呢個做法係理想呢？咁第三呢，就係講開就話即係頭先講到話警力嗰度啦，其實我哋都留意到呢，即係你哋1點鐘即係凌晨1點已經有 briefing 去同我哋講翻個情況，就係話你哋都睇到係開始唔得啦，咁樣係你哋需要譴責佢哋啦。咁點解凌晨1點到去到朝早7、8點？呢段時間其實我哋睇唔到有更加高嘅指揮或者更加高嘅升級嘅警方嘅行動去應對。舉一個例子，即使係某一條街巷，一班警方人員喺度列陣啦，佢哋嘅盾牌可以係唔使3個字，已經嗰啲盾牌已經俾嗰啲嘢咧係砸到爛晒，而最後咧係成條列線係可以崩潰嘅。咁但係咧，佢哋可以係等咗好耐都未見到你哋嘅支援人員。咁其實你哋係咪真係低估咗成個速度？人群管理固然係可以瞬間萬變啦，但係全世界都係咁樣做，會唔會話第時去到啲更加高嘅恐怖襲擊嘅類別嘅時候，其實你哋根本係應付唔到嘅咧？唔該晒。
好，關於預謀嗰個喺之前亦都提過啦。我哋喺現場呢係有同事呢係睇到呢係有一架物資車輛係提供一啲物資俾一啲暴徒使用。咁我哋所以估計呢係有呢個有可能呢係有計劃同埋係有呢個係組織呢次嘅違法行為嘅。咁所以呢，當然我哋而家仲喺度繼續調查。我即係話有可能，我哋會再進一步搜證同埋調查。暫時呢，嗱，我因為係依家又涉及呢個調查細節。總之我哋係見到佢哋派咗啲物資俾嗰啲現場嘅暴徒使用嘅嚇。咁另外呢，交通警員頭先我都再次講咗啦，我哋個使用武力同埋使用武器嗰個準則就係要保護自己或者係保護其他人嘅生命安全。喺別無選擇，即係冇其他嘅選擇之下，佢要使用嘅，咁佢可以使用。咁至於啱唔啱呢？就係我要講啦，就係我話我哋要調查。喺呢分鐘，我淨係見到佢鏡頭面前，佢做咗一個動作。我一定要知道佢當時係有啲咩考慮，喺個心裏邊有咩考慮，同埋當時附近嘅情況。因為我鏡頭只係見到一忽，咁可能呢要多啲揾多啲證人。我哋一定每次呢警員開槍嘅，一定做一個全面檢討嘅嚇，咁去判斷佢嘅做法有冇問題。而最後個警力呢，我亦都再次重申，其實我哋警方經過咁多年去處理遊行示威，我哋已經係非常有經驗。同埋有呢個係專業嘅，我相信大家都認同。但係呢，喺呢個人群管理，的確呢係一個心理裏邊呢係轉呢係千變萬化。亦都有我頭先亦都提到，我啲同事係連續幾日做咗花墟啊、花市啊嗰啲更份，啱啱亦都係做完呢個係花車嘅更份。咁所以呢，我哋喺調派上呢，我哋會先將最近嘅同事調去支援。咁一路邊個可以放到出嚟嘅，我哋就即刻派去，就唔存在話我哋係慢咗或者快咗。總之我哋係就住個情況做咗評估，盡快派同事去支援我哋前線同事嘅。多謝。
Thank you. So, 3 questions for you. The first is, when was the last time a police weapon was fired in the context of a protest or riot? And was the weapon fired this morning, was it live ammunition? That's the first one. And the second one. And then the third question is, do you think that there's been a shift in Hong Kong people's willingness to become more violent on the streets? And if so, what's precipitated the shift?
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have the information in when was the last time police used fire in a riot situation. Perhaps I can give you later through my PPRB staff. And for I confirmed it is a live ammo it was used. And I said during my introduction that indeed for the past years we did notice there was a shift of the some members of the public who are doing a public procession or public meeting do have an inclination to use violence or radical acts in order to express their opinion. So I really, it is deep in my heart. I want to appeal to these people. If they call themselves people of Hong Kong, first of all, they should love Hong Kong and should not break the rule of law, which we have hard-earned it for so many years. Thank you.
TVB Pearl, did you think it was appropriate for the officer to have fired warning shots in such a busy area of Hong Kong? And does the force agree with how he handled the situation last night? And also, are you guys expecting to have more protests tonight? And will you guys send more officers out to man the area? Thank you.
Yes, indeed. I just want to repeat. We have strict guidelines on the use of force, and including firearms, the use of firearms. And also we have strictest training for individual officer on how and when to use their firearm. And I don't want to repeat all these guidelines. And for this moment, I really do not want to jump to conclusion, because the thing just happened last night. The incident just happened last night. And all I got is from the screenshot of the TV news. So I would conduct a full investigation into the incident. So I would have a better understanding of what the officers, what factors he is considering at that time. And to then we can conclude whether his act is appropriate or not. And for at this moment, we are not expecting another riot tonight. Of course, we will closely monitor the situation, and we have, because of last night's incident, we have increased our manpower for tonight's the fireworks display. And I want to appeal again to the general public that while you enjoy the firework, please obey the instructions of the officers who are working at the scene. Help us to keep Hong Kong safe. And if they see anything suspicious, let us know early. And if really, which I really don't want to see, there's something happened like last night, please don't stay at the scene. Stay away and leave the scene as soon as possible. Thank you.
最後兩題啦嚇，後邊嗰位。
蘋果日報嘅，咁想問下咧，同埋暴亂界定啦，同埋現時咧被捕嘅人士咧，係咪將會被控呢個暴亂罪咧？
好多謝。咁咧其實咧呢啲字眼咧就係冇法律上嘅定義嘅，不過就係我哋自己內部警察咧，我哋係描述一啲情況。騷亂咧就係冇咁可以咁講，程度上冇咁暴力，亦都冇咁危險嘅。例如唔會有人放火啦，唔會有人大肆破壞公物啦，可能只係同警務人員有啲推撞啊，或者係霸下馬路啊，咁嗰啲咧，我哋咧一般就叫disturbances， 即係騷亂。咁riot 咧就暴亂一定係勁好多啦，一定係有啲行為係嚴重，係危害到公眾公共安全，包括放火咧，大家都知道放火其實係終身監禁啊。咁咧就刑事毀壞一啲物件咧，亦都係一個嚴重罪行，就唔係話簡簡單單阻礙警務人員執行職務啊，或者喺個街道阻下街啊咁簡單。咁我哋主要就係我哋自己內部我哋區分嘅，因為呢個唔係一個法律上嘅定義嚟嘅。唔該晒。
最後一題啦，係香港電台。
你好啊，港台黃貝文，想問翻呢，今次嘅事件呢，定性為暴亂同埋形容市民係暴徒啦，其實係咪想為警員開槍而開脱啦？另外呢，就係事件其實源於呢，就係警方對旺角嘅小販執法，你覺得部署有冇問題呢？一開始警方有冇需要為事件負責？係咪事件嘅始作俑者呢？唔該。
我哋稱呢件事件呢，絕對唔係話佢哋揾藉口，因為大家其實喺整晚個電視，我都睇住電視，大家都睇到嗰個過程係的確係同以前係唔一樣嘅。 今次咧超過10個地方咧有俾人縱火，更加有一個火勢咧係當呢個消防員到場，佢係唔容許佢埋去救火。我係非常擔心，因為大家都試過花園街大火，啲火咧係可以令到附近啲唐樓咧係燒入去嘅，所以我係非常非常咁擔心。所以我哋話佢係暴徒或者係呢個係暴亂咧，唔係話為揾藉口，而事實就係咁樣。至於你話我哋低估嘅情況咧，其實日常我相信大家都知道，而家每晚其實旺角都有呢個購物團示威，晚晚都有幾十人街頭行到街尾，所以我哋每次咧都係有足夠警員去睇住佢哋嘅。你唔知道咧一個示威嘅群眾咧會突然間去可能有一剎那佢係會轉變嘅，可能呢啲要交俾學者先至可以研究得到。我哋都會事後都會做啲檢討嘅。當然我唔敢話咧，我哋而家咧就係即係話我哋咧就係最美滿嘅嗰個部署。我每一次做完咧，我哋都會做檢討。但係今次初步嚟睇，當時嗰個要求只係話有啲食環署嘅同事俾人圍住走唔到咁佢哋又執唔到法，咁於是我咪派啲同事去協助佢哋咯。但係想唔到咧，後來咧係即係急劇惡化個事件。咁我哋亦都好快咁樣派足夠嘅同事去支援。當然，當我哋派多啲嘅時候，佢又再惡化啲；我哋派多啲，佢又再惡化啲。所以可能咧喺裏邊呢個時空裏邊咧，大家可能有感覺，咦有一剎那點解仲係派極都好似唔夠嘅咁。咁所以希望大家都要明白，我哋咧一定會盡力，尤其是咧保護我哋啲前線同事，亦都要保護記者朋友咧喺前線採訪嘅時候嘅安全嘅。多謝大家。
通例啊！
我頭先講咗啦，我唔會喺呢1分鐘咧做一個判斷，因為我真係未查到成件事嘅前因後果。
網上邊有冇考慮過一啲更加高規格嘅一啲嘅？
即係執翻示威者掟過嚟嘅磚咧，掟翻轉頭，其實呢個情況咧係即係應唔應該咁做，或者即係會唔會有啲
呢個事件咧，我哋咧會成件事件做個檢討。如果有人係作出投訴咧，我亦都歡迎。我咧會咧做一個全面嘅調查目前咧我唔想咧就喺呢度睇咗個鏡頭之後咧，忽然間得2秒鐘嘅一個鏡頭，跟住就判斷啱唔啱，做得過唔過分，或者做得即係有冇錯，好唔好啊？唔該晒，唔該晒，唔該晒。我哋一樣會嚴肅處理。我希望佢盡快嚟向我哋報案同埋投訴。我可以保證向大家，如果真係有咁嘅事發生，我一定會嚴肅處理。
好嘛？唔該晒。